it's another side that like wants to take more, and wants to go that one more round, because like going that one more round when you don't think you can, that's what makes all the difference in your life. You know what I mean?
Good day and welcome to another episode of One More Round, the Rocky Series podcast. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are starting Rocky Balboa. Yes, we are doing the director's cut version. And yes, this is episode 1. We're going to get into all that, how I got into possession of this and all that good stuff. I will explain it at the time of this recording. So behind the curtain, we usually record about a week before it gets released. So, I record, then we edit, and it goes out a week later. So at the time of this recording, it is Father's Day, and I say this because we are celebrating the greatest father in movie history, Rocky Balboa.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
Yeah. So there is a scene, I guess, right at the beginning that we're probably going to get to, obviously. I don't know. With our discussions, we might not even get to it. We did 20 episodes of Rocky 5, but I think the reason why there's a lot of episodes for Rocky 5 was that we did do the original with the versus the workers print. We have the luxury today of having the director's cut in our possession. And actually, I'll just talk about it right now quickly, how we got it. So I put the call out there, and a lot of people did respond, which was fantastic. A lot of people responded and said, hey, Ryan, here's a link to where you can buy it. Adrian did that at the Arcade Attack podcast. He gave me the exact link where to buy it. That's where I said, oh, $75. Like, oof. And then I asked, are the deleted scenes this or that? People gave me a bunch of information and all that. So people reached out, and I legit want to say thank you to everyone that reached out. But Gino, our favorite Italian-Australian or Australian-Italian, whatever you want to, whatever he identifies first in Australia, he has access. I don't know how he has it. I'm not going to ask, but he has the director's cut, and he uploaded the director's cut to his cloud, and then I downloaded he shared with me that copy. So we have the director's cut.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome, Gino.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, that is amazing. Thank you, Gino. So everyone thank Gino for that. It's the director's cut with subtitles too. Like we have the subtitles. And I was actually watching it as I gave it and there was a scene near the beginning, like, oh yeah, that's not in the original cut. So it is the official director's cut. The deleted scene that I've seen before is inserted in the film. So it did the work for us, Katie. I don't have to do any editing before the show. We just plug and play.
So nice. So nice. I'm going to be similar to Rocky 5, although I did watch Rocky 5 before the season. I haven't rewatched Rocky Balboa in a long time. So I'm going to
just watch with us. Yeah, watch with us. Yeah.
Well, I will constantly be like, was that in the original or is that new?
Oh, well, let's just do it together because I'm pretty confident that I can pick out the scenes that were deleted. I'm pretty confident. And I'm sure our emailers and YouTube commenters will always, as they do, Andy Grew, they will correct us when we're wrong and they'll let us know. So, right. We don't have Kyle yet. Like I said, it is Father's Day, so he could be wrapped up in Father's Day activities, even though yesterday he did confirm that we were recording today. Maybe he was confirming that we're recording today so he could bail on us. I don't So he's probably just running behind with Father's Day activities. We told him we'd start with the emails and stuff before he joins us. So, Katie, by all means, rock and roll with the fan interaction.
We have some YouTube comments. The first one is from the Misfit 74. The song Ryan is referring to is It Takes Two, which is a Rob Bass song, but I Wanna Rock from the soundtrack is a different song. Is it like It Takes Two to make a thing go right?
Yeah, it's a wonderful song, and I just checked on YouTube to confirm, because even though I believe the Misfit, I believed him. I haven't heard that song in 35 years, so I'm like, oh. So I did go, and he does, I'm Rob Bass, and I came to get down. I'm not internationally known. And so he does say, I Want to Rock Right Now, or whatever that is, and that is that song. So it's just interesting he has another song that mentions rock in it. So I didn't listen to it. I wasn't that interested. I just moved forward with my life. So yes, the Misfit is correct. That is that line. Okay. All right. Thank you.
And then a few from Andy Grew. Sweetest Victory. was on, that's the song he's referring to, was on the Rocky 4 soundtrack in the credits, but not in the original cut. Sometimes songs are planned to be used, paid for, and then not used, but they still paid for them, so why not?
Okay. All right. Just so for context for our listeners, Andy did work in the movie industry for a little bit, so he does have some like legit insider analysis and insight. So thank you, Andy. And he's a bit of a film snob, and he's better than us in general. And I know when he listens to the show, he thinks to himself all the time how much better he could be. But that's okay. Check him out on the Van Damme podcast. All right.
Another one from Andy. I am truly amazed they didn't use this. The original Rocky score was used in the Rocky 5 street fight. I inquired whether that was there or not. The music alone changes so much. Sly's acting here is better than anything that made the final cut. He's truly conflicted. Yeah, I think we're all in agreement there.
Yeah, there's a worker print comments coming up later, but generally speaking, Sly's acting in the workers print, not pound for pound. Well, I mean, yeah, ratio wise, it was better. The performance was better than the theatrical cut. It was less R word, and there was more story, especially the end fight. He was conflicted. He didn't want to do this because in the theatrical cut, last on this is again, he goes, "Yeah, I'll show you, and I'm going to take you to," but I like the idea that Rocky was sort of pulled into it. It's like, oh my gosh, I just have to, because it's almost like a threat. I got to put this guy down. He's just going to keep punching the crap out of me. Whereas in the theatrical cut, he's like, I'm going to give the fans one more fight. You know, like, come on.
Yeah, that's a good point. And the music does, his point is accurate about the music changes so much too. So I don't know why. Anyway, it kind of was a disaster now that we're retroactively looking. All right, now we have so
okay. Well, actually, before you move on, then this is a question for all the listeners to answer in their head, and you can comment if you want. Now that you know that the workers print has so many beats and parts and elements that would have made Rocky 5 even better, is Rocky 5 now then just again a really bad, like, you know what I mean? Does it sort of secure the fact that Rocky 5 was such a missed opportunity and bad film? In a terrible way, the workers print is fighting against me for liking Rocky 5. Like, I've liked it more over the years, but now I'm frustrated again. I feel like I'm frustrated again because
it could have been so much better.
Because it still could have been so much better.
Yeah. I think you're right. So the next comment is Eccentric Views, our favorite Italian Australian. Speaking of Gino, while editing my Rocky 5 fan cut, I noticed the recurring presence of the elevated train throughout the film. I believe it serves as a symbolic spiritual representation of Mickey. Next time you watch, pay attention to its appearances, especially in the theatrical cut's final scene where the train's glow coincides with Mickey's apparition, urging Rocky with, "Get up, you son of a bitch."
Interesting.
Yeah, I did notice the train was heavily used in Rocky 5.
Okay. I never noticed it. You know what's interesting? I want you to finish your point, but I don't want to forget mine, is what Gino experienced there with his editing is what we've experienced by doing these films scene by scene. You start to notice things when you slow down the films that you didn't see on multiple viewings. You're like, oh, that scene. So it's interesting that he noticed that element of the movie when he goes, frame by frame. He's looking for shots or whatever it is to do his Rocky 5 fan edit. So yeah, I get you, Gino. What were you going to say, Katie, about the trains?
Yeah, I did notice the heavy usage of it, and his point about it being like a symbolic representation of Mickey. We had a discussion about, I liked it, but not everybody liked the cut where Mickey, it was like his ghost, his apparition up far away on the bridge, the train bridge. But I think Gino's point, that was purposeful. If every time we have a memory of Mickey, the train is there.
Okay. That's fair.
Anyway, yeah.
That's fair. So the train and Mickey I still want to see a fan cut. Gino, can you work on that, please? Can you work on a fan cut out of Mickey getting hit by the train?
No.
Please. I got it. Like a splat sound. I do like a
clever
splat
spaces
sound.
on the front of the train.
Yeah, actually, Drago was called the train. Wasn't he called something? The
Siberian Express.
Yeah. Put a Siberian Express on the side of the streetcar and have it run over Mickey.
But Clever kind of started the heart attack. I don't know.
Look, are we trying to make sense of the timeline?
Good point. Okay, moving on. Referring to the director's cut in Rocky Balboa, Kieran Healy has a comment saying, as far as I know, it's just the deleted scenes in the director's cut. That's according to Wikipedia. As far as I know, there's one scene that's omitted from it.
So there's still a deleted scene that's not in the director's cut. Interesting. Okay, so I'll have to let us know, folks, which deleted scene that is. I think that's what he's saying. So even though those deleted scenes are inserted, there might still be one of those deleted scenes that you can watch on YouTube or on the DVD extras that's not inserted in this film. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Escape 5150 says, this may seem a bit dark, but if they insisted on having Rocky 5 be what it was, they should have made Rocky die at the end. It would have given the movie more significance. I also find it crazy that Rocky's son has the power to age 5 years within a few days from Rocky 4 to Rocky 5, but throughout Rocky 5, he doesn't age at all. I guess he got all the superhuman advanced aging out of his system.
It's the only
Great
explanation. It's the only explanation.
Wasn't he originally supposed to die?
Apparently, yeah. Yeah, again, I always say this. I don't know why I say this because people do it anyways. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe the original script was him dying after the street fight, of course, that the injuries from Tommy sustained, which would have been. Can you imagine if Tommy, the character, killed Balboa? Like Tommy Morrison, the character, or sorry, Tommy the machine gun, he is already maligned and hated so much just for having a mullet, let alone for killing Balboa. Imagine he's the one that look how much Drago's almost hated for killing Apollo. So imagine how much Tommy, the character, would be hated for killing Balboa. Now, that being said, he was supposed to die in the ambulance ride home with Adrian in the ambulance with him, and Adrian was pregnant with their daughter at the time.
That's right. That's right. We instead of Creed, we maybe would have gotten
the daughter, yeah,
Adriana or something.
Adriana. What would have been? What do you want to name the daughter? Maybe after the mother. That's a good name. Yeah, but then the poor kid, the mother would have died of that woman cancer, and the baby would have been like 10 years old or whatever.
Also, the time jumps. I mean, we have talked like on and on and on about the times. It's fun to do, but yeah, it makes zero sense.
It's over. It's over. We're done. We're moving because I think the time jump here is sort of makes sense to this film. The age of Rocky Jr.
This film meaning Rocky Balboa.
2006, 16 years after. Yeah. So sure. Milo Ventimiglia. I'm so proud I know how to pronounce his name. Milo Ventimiglia. He looks young, so he's 22 to 24. Yeah, that makes sense. He's 16 years later. He could even be close to 30. So actually, maybe he's younger than he actually is. Actually, that's a good point. Actually, we'll get to it.
I know. I haven't really. Yeah. He could be anywhere from 24 to 30.
Louise, can you do me a favor? Because I know he's in the chat right now. Can you look up Milo Ventimiglia's age in 2006? Because actually, that would be very interesting to see the actor's age. I don't care. I know that. But this is going to be important because, funny enough, the Rocky character and Sly's age are pretty close in this film.
Right.
And his character is pushing 60. In the film. That's the whole point, I believe.
Yeah.
I think they want Rocky to be maybe 55 to 58, but he's 59, both character and actor. So, and that actually works within the films because 30 years previous was the first Rocky film when he was pushing 30. And I think that's why I think Sly said you could watch the first film and then skip to the last film because the timeline makes sense.
It does because 2006, 1976.
Yeah, 30 years. So it's 30 years in real life, 30 years in 59. Film life. Yeah, so he's 59 in the film, the character. And I think Sly was, if not that age, during filming.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have an email from our favorite wrestler, Hector.
Okay, before you start reading it, folks, yes, it's a long email, but it's fascinating information. So buckle in, do your dishes, keep jogging, whatever you're doing. It's a longer email, but it's really informational. I love this.
Hi, guys. Great season, and thank you for reviewing both the theatrical and work print versions. Even though the work print has some flaws and a disease-ridden little Marie, it's the better version of Rocky 5. And I think your review proved that point. Thank you.
Thank you, Hector.
The main reason I'm writing is because of Carl Weathers and my thoughts on the type of contracts he had. Whenever I have done something for TV, I've had to sign away my likeness starting back in 2009. It was for these really cheap Spanish TV programs. The contracts were for a one-time payment, usually $100 or $200, and they stated they could use my face/likeness for the show and for commercial or promotional purposes. I really didn't have a say as I was new, didn't have a manager, and was getting my foot in the door.
Had no manager.
Yeah. And then when I did RuPaul's Drag Race, P.S., humble brag. No, I'm just kidding. That's awesome. That's super awesome. I got a one-time payment of $250 and signed away my likeness rights for that show to be used for clips, commercials, promotional material, etc. Again, I was just getting my foot in the door with English TV. I had no say and just signed away. It's one of their more popular episodes, getting replays on streaming to this day, but I don't see a cent of residuals because I didn't have a manager.
Yeah, no manager.
Once I was on board with SAG, which is the Screen Actors Guild, and appeared on Ray Donovan. Love that show. I got paid $999 per episode. I love that it wasn't $1,000.
Yeah.
It was $999.
There's probably a reason for that, I wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though I filmed for one episode, they decided to split it into two, and I got an extra check for the same amount. Well, that's awesome. P.S. Were you one of the wrestlers in that storyline?
I think we might have talked about this. I think we may have mentioned it because you're a Ray Donovan fan. Yes, I still want to watch the TV show. And I swear it was you, but it's been a while. But I would suspect if there was a wrestler themed storyline, he must have been one of the wrestlers.
Well, it's very boxing heavy. And then they kind of got into, there was like a lucha libre storyline for a little while.
That must have been what he's a part. If he wasn't cast for that, because he's literally Mexican wrestler, like that's Latino at the very least. So he must have been one of the.
Yeah, let us know, Hector. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Then he goes on to say, whenever that episode aired, I got residuals and continue to get them to this day. Over the years, the checks have gotten smaller and smaller, and now they are no greater than $2, but a dollar is a dollar.
Hey, sure.
Yeah. And
yourself a Starbucks.
That's interesting that he got residuals for that, but not, he signed away his likeness for other shows, but not this one. Yeah. Because of the Screen Actors Guild.
I was actually thinking before you carry on with that with residuals, it's just crazy that even if he's getting a couple bucks, I think all these TV shows, how much money they shell out for years, because if a side character has been on one episode is still getting $2, like what's everyone else getting over a run of Star Trek and all these other shows? Like,
well, and how many people's jobs is it to just do that? Just pay out residuals,
the payroll people.
Yeah.
They keep track of where to put it and
how much everybody get. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
That's a whole industry in itself.
Yeah, no kidding.
He says, I signed my likeness rights away, but in this instance, because of the union, I got way more than before. Unions are great, everyone. Yes.
Because he had a manager.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Now, imagine if I had a manager.
Where's your manager? Sorry, I can't do no more. I can't do no more rock.
I could have gotten more. If I had more of a name and my likeness was more recognizable, I could have bargained for more pay or something else that could have benefited me financially in the long run. Something we forget is that Carl Weathers came from the world of sports, NFL, and he probably had a manager/lawyer who would bargain for him. He probably already had dealt with likeness rights issues due to magazines, commercials, and trading cards. With the original Rocky movie being low budget, somewhat risky production with an unknown lead, Mr. Weathers probably got a great deal for himself, one that he could have negotiated in his favor if sequels were to happen.
Okay.
Yeah, that tracks. He
so
says,
basically, yeah, because Carl was a bit of a star, because we've heard the story according to Sly, of course, but that Carl came in a little bit. I think it's probably a true story. It sounds just like Carl. It's like, oh, you're the actor? I thought I was just bouncing lines off you. You're the writer. Like he goes, oh, you're the writer, but you're also acting in this thing. He goes, I'll do it with a better actor type, whatever it was. And Sly's like, he's perfect. He's perfect. He doesn't like me. I like that. Because he had a bit of clout. That's the swagger that he had. So he probably had better representation at the time, saying, hey, Carl, before you sign on to this independent film, we got to protect you. We got to protect you for any kind of losses or something like that.
Yeah, it is interesting. I guess I didn't realize that he was like a big star in the sports world.
I don't think it was a movie star, but he had
not a movie star, but like in the sports world, I didn't even think he was like well.
I don't think he was star, but he'd been around the industry, kind of knew how to protect himself.
Yeah, that tracks. So Hector then says, I don't believe they needed Mr. Weathers for Rocky V, as the main blows to the head happened with Clubber and Drago in that scene we were talking about, like the flashbacks. Speaking of them, Mr. T and Dolph were coming into a well-established movie franchise, Rocky Land. Both were new, just putting their foot in the door. They would have signed away any and every likeness right just to be in the movie.
Yeah, which you
Definitely
see now.
Dolph. Definitely Dolph. Was Mr. T.
Oh, I think in both films it said introducing Mr. T, introducing Dolph
Okay,
Lundgren. I think
yeah,
that's sort
that's
of
right.
the idea was that this is their big films.
Yeah, you're right. For some reason, thought Mr. T. You're absolutely right, because Mr. T got to be a bigger deal later. Yeah.
Yeah, he had done stuff, and I think Dolph had done stuff. I think Dolph was like a big part in a James Bond film, for example. But this was their. I mean, you go into Rocky 3 and 4; these are huge films. So you're really
Really good
introducing the
point.
world to these characters, these people.
Yeah.
So the video games that came out, all that stuff, you have Dolph Lundgren's likeness. Yeah.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Hector then says, now for Rocky Balboa, the movie, I believe Carl Weathers, working through a lawyer or manager, tried to get a substantial sum just for his likeness, just to show a photo or two. Carl wasn't working much at the time. Whoever negotiated probably overestimated his value and blew the deal by overcharging. Or, as the rumor goes, Carl wanted to appear in the movie.
Or I think he doesn't like
as a
Sly.
memory. Yeah.
No, I think he's been tough for Sly.
I can also see him thinking he was a bigger deal than he was at the time. Like,
maybe, but Dolph is a bigger deal.
Yeah.
Dolph likes Sly, so that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I do think that Dolph is more humble than Carl. Like Carl has more of a, he's
that's who he is. Yeah.
Kind of maybe not arrogant, but overly confident, maybe. Okay, so he says, sorry for the long email, but I hope this helps you ponder what could have been going on behind the scenes with the whole likeness rights dispute. Super interesting, Hector. Thank you so much for the insight. And yeah, that totally makes sense.
Okay. Thank you, Hector. That was amazing. Thank you to everyone listening. And I just checked our messenger to Kyle. He has not seen our invite. So something obviously Father Day related happened. So we want to, he may still see it. We got to, we're going to do at least another 45 minutes recording. He may pop in, but I suspect Father Day activities took over, which is fine. He's a better father than Rocky. That's all we can say that about Kyle. He loves his kids. And speaking of Father's Day, this individual, I won't say the person's name to not embarrass this individual, but there's somebody on the Sly socials. They follow this account around. I actually booted them out of our Facebook account.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so here's the message. This guy always does this on every post. He talks to the account like Sly is here.
Oh,
he's one of those,
he doesn't understand. So clearly doesn't listen to the show.
He doesn't listen to the show. Doesn't but he does it on Instagram. Well, this was on our Instagram, because we're live on Instagram. He pops in, and I think he's left. I don't care, but he goes, "Happy Father's Day, Sylvester Stallone." He's not talking to us. He's talking to us, but he does this everywhere. He'll often refer to Sly as his dad. Is the big thing. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he'll say, okay. I know.
People are weird. I mean, I do still shake my head at humans, but there's no figuring us out as humans, as a species. We're weird people. And
I know, there's so many weird people. He goes, a true icon of strength, character, and heart. Stay healthy and powerful as always. Thank you for being an inspiration every single day. Look, I love Sly. And I love his movies, I should say. I've enjoyed the characters that he's portrayed in film. Is even a better way of saying it. I enjoy the Rambo and the Rocky franchises that he played. But when I'm not recording these podcasts, I don't think of Sly. No offense. I probably think of Frank Stallone more than you when I'm not recording, because I always wonder what Frank Stallone's up to for the next episode. This hero worship of celebrities is oddly ridiculous, I think. That's just me. How can you be inspired every day? Every day you wake up, Sly exists. And because of his existence, I can go to work. You know what inspires me? Just my family, to live and to work for them. And that's all I care about.
Get a hobby, dude. Enjoy your life. I know. Anyways. Sometimes doing the Retromade show, some posting in groups and seeing comments.
I know.
I am just blown away. This is what you spend your time doing. What is the purpose of you commenting the dumbest comments? Or
really quick side note here, because Kyle's not here. We can fill up a little bit more time. I do a reaction channel, and I won't say what it is just because I never advertise it. I never talk about it, but I do a reaction channel with my best friend. And of course we react to, artists that have fandoms, right? They'll have certain fandoms. And if we like the song or the video, of course, the fandom's like, yay, they like it. And they get that vacuum feeling that they get. And that's great, because, we genuinely like something. But when we don't like something, my goodness, you would think that we had insulted their mother or their child or even their religion or something that's sacred to them. It's just an artist. It's just a singing artist. It's just a guitar and a singer. And it's odd to me. Like, I chuck shite at Sly all the time where it's due. Like, that was a stupid movie.
Right.
Why did you make that film? It's a dumb film. We might say, whatever. That's fandom. Real fandom is being objective enough where you can say, that wasn't very good. That wasn't very good. You can do better than that. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's weird that some people, they can't see the forest because of the trees. There's such fandoms of what I'm getting at, that when we react to a song or something, it's like, you really? Every song is equally as amazing? How is that possible? Some stuff just isn't good. Anyways. So.
Yeah. That's the idea about you can't have a debate with someone. If you ask them the question, what could I say to change your mind? And they say nothing.
Yeah.
Debate over.
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
There's no, you can't.
So Luis popped in. Thanks, Luis. We'll get back on track of our Rocky talk. So first off, he did say when you all were covering the work print fight, I was initially worried that it was the infamous death scene. I didn't want that visual, even from a discarded scene. Very true.
Mm-hmm.
And to be clear, I don't think it was ever filmed. I think it was script only.
Right.
I think the studio said, "Oh, Sly, that's cool. You presented that as an idea. No thanks." I don't think it was even filmed. I think it was on page only. Then he goes on to say, "Thank you. Milo Ventimiglia was 29. Perfect. That actually tracks. That means Robert, the character that we see in Rocky 5, was about 13, which he looks, I believe that was the age of Sage at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's perfect. 13 to 50. I think he was 15, actually. But he looked kind of 13. So that's actually got a perfect 16 years later. The actor playing Robert is 29, 30 almost, which is, that's the timeline works. So again, Sly was saying that, like, if you watch the first Rocky film, then they knew that. I think they did that on purpose. They picked an actor and an age that made sense in the timeline. I think they made sure that Rocky 5 to Rocky Balboa, there wouldn't be that timeline talk about his kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, he said he would have been 28 when it was filmed because he was born in 77. Yeah. So the point is, the age kind of matches, give or take a year. That's perfect. Okay.
I would like to point out that
please.
Milo, the actor, is perfect for me. He's older than me, but not too much older than me. He's Italian. Can we start a campaign?
He's a handsome guy.
Can we start a campaign for Katie to date Milo?
Oh, wow. Hashtag Milo. I think he's married.
Oh, shoot.
You think a guy like him's not taken? Come on. Are we the same age too? What was he born in 70?
He was 77.
Okay, so I'm 2 years older. Yeah, he's a handsome feller. I'm going to see his marital status.
I don't think he's married.
Oh, yes, he is. He's been married for 2 years. He's been married for 2 years.
Oh, so last time, it probably has been like 5 years since I looked it up. So who's he married to?
Oh, some schlub. Oh, she's just schlub. Her name is Jara Mariano. Oh, gross. She's age appropriate and gorgeous.
I love that.
I mean, she's ugly. That. She's ugly. Do not Google her.
No, I'm glad that she's age appropriate though. He just got married, so he's late 40s when he got married.
Yeah. So she's 41. He's 47. So
perfect.
Yeah. No, she's gorgeous. Yeah. She's mixed Korean Hawaiian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I actually didn't know that he was married. That's why I had to look it up. So
that's recent.
Yeah.
That's pretty recent. So yeah. All right.
Yeah. Well, good for them. All the best to them. And they have one kid together. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, that does kind of
pretty
anchor.
solid.
That's kind of an anchor. Yeah.
Even if they break up, you're gonna have to deal with being a stepmom.
Yeah. And I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Oh, those kids ruin everything.
They do.
Happy Father's Day, everybody. All right. Okay, here we go. Director's cut. Enough banter. Kyle. Yeah. Oh, he just woke up. He wasn't even at Father's Day. He was sleeping.
Wow, that's really sleeping in for him.
Yeah, it's 9:40. I'm outing him right now. It's 9:30 in the morning. He must have tied one on last night. Oh,
I always set an alarm.
Oh, he did maybe watch the hockey game last night. He maybe drank himself to a stupor with the Edmonton loss. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we go. You excited? Director's cut?
Oh, yes, I am. I haven't seen this in so long. Yeah, I am excited.
I think even the very beginning, there might be some stuff. I don't want to overdo it because my memory is bad. But yeah, if you see anything like, was that in the original? But
it's the yellow and black, I like it.
Old school,
Rocky colors.
You hear the crowd, Chanty Rock. And what I love right away is you have a film by Sylvester Stallone. Even though he directed 2, 3, and 4, that director's credit didn't come up until they came up at the end, when they go all the way through the cast and characters. And then it says, directed by Sylvester Stallone. But this now says a film by Sylvester. So it's a very different, when a director does that, it's a very different presentation, like a Quentin Tarantino film, a Spike Lee joint, a film by Stevens. It's a little bit more letting everyone know, hey, I made this film, and we'll get to that I directed it, but a film by is a different way. It's a more elitist, or that's the right word.
It's elevated. He's elevated. Yeah. And the Rocky theme is starting to play. And I'm just now getting myself back in the mindset. In 2006, it had been so long.
16 years.
Rocky 5 was it. And then there was so much hype about, oh my God, there's going to be another Rocky movie. And this is how they start. It's just like all of us fans are just like going nuts with the color, the film by Sylvester Stallone. The Rocky theme is playing. We are jazzed.
We were totally jazzed. And I saw this in the theaters. Did you see it in the theaters when it came?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
okay.
Yeah, this is the only one I did see in the theater.
Okay. I saw 3, 4, 5, 6 in the theater. Yeah. Yeah. I guess I only didn't see the first two just due to my age at the time. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. The scroll.
Yeah. Classic scrolls back. Now, what I do like about that scroll, did you catch what was happening?
It was scenes from this movie. What would be normal for Rocky movies is to kind of show us the past, and this didn't do that.
That's right. It showed you scenes that were going to happen in the film. Interesting choice, I would say.
And now we're seeing fighters that we don't know.
That we don't know.
That we don't know. Yeah.
And the announcers, of course, will explain who they are and what have you. And yeah, right away, we're going to see Mason Line Dixon. And let's just get it out. Let's get out of the way, Katie. No offense to Mr. Tarver. You could kick the shit out of me. But we went from Apollo, Clubber. So Apollo times 2. He always looked fantastic, Mr. Carl Weathers.
Mm-hmm.
Clubber, fantastic. Drago was a god. And then even Morrison was a beast.
He was a beast. Yeah, I didn't care for the look, but he at least had a physique.
Take away the mullet.
Yeah.
He was only a 19-year-old kid. He was a big boy. Think about it. He's 19. That's a big boy.
Yeah. And then now
we get this.
He's tall.
He's tall, lanky-ish, and Kyle did mention, you look at somebody like who's that famous boxer right now that we mentioned that's a little bit overweight but still kick the crap out of you. So that's what we're dealing with right now. It's realistic, but it's so I mentioned before, dear listeners, that Rocky Balboa. I don't know how I feel about it to some degree. I would say there's just as much flaws. I'm going to be very objective with this review. This is my last time doing this. I'm never doing this again. I'm never reviewing this film again. I think the first time I went and did this film on our Going the Distance podcast journey was probably more adoration for it. I think I'm going to be a little bit more critical in this, and not for the sake of controversy or talking points, but I'm going to point out the ideas of things where I would have changed. So what I would have done right away is, Sly, look, you used a real boxer for Tommy. That's cool. Don't do it again. If you're bringing us back to the original Rocky spirit or films, guess what they were? The Carl Weathers was not a real boxer. Neither was Clubber. Neither was Drago. They're not real boxers, even though they might be athletes in their own right. Give us another guy who's an athlete who can kind of learn on the fly, and give us an actor. And then you can flesh out his character more. Because the scenes that Tarver acts in, we're back to the sports guy acting. It's just like, come on. There's no charisma. We don't have that Mr. T charisma. We don't have the Carl charisma. That's what's missing from this film, is the antagonist has zero charisma.
We don't care. I don't give a shit about Mason the Line Dixon.
We don't care about his journey. We don't care about what he looks like. We're not afraid of him. There's nothing about him that he's literally a punching bag.
You would think that he's like, let's see, actor, fighter. Which one of those was the worst movie? The one where you got a fighter that, so you would have thought that he would have learned that having non-fighters, it sounded like Mr. T was really bad. Like he had a hard time. And I think it's easier probably for Sly to, choreograph fight scenes with an actual boxer. Okay. Get one that is really menacing looking, that at least like we could pretend to be scared of and has like a physique at least, even if he sucks as an actor. This guy, it's not his fault. Yeah, he's both. He's not hulking. He's not an actor. He can't act. He's not hulking, and he's doughy. I don't.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry, Antonio. It's just.
Yeah.
Can you at least work out for the movie? Like, you know, you're going to be in a movie. Get cut.
Well, that's the thing. The irony is Stallone at his ripe age of 59 got this beast with HGH and all that good hard work. Yeah, but he got this like lumberjack big build that he used for the Rambo film afterwards. And so he's a beast of a guy. So I find it weirdly.
Do you think it was vanity? He didn't want to be shirtless with somebody who looked, you know, like I would argue Sly at 59 looks better shirtless than Antonio does.
What's the point?
Was that on purpose?
So did Sly truly pick did he Tarver was handpicked because he was doughy? Is that the idea?
Well, I'm just wondering because we know he's a, you know, kind of a vain person, and
no, it's a valid question. I'm entertaining the question for real.
He himself is no longer the perfectly sculpted sculpture as he was in previous movies. Sly, you can't be here. You're 60.
No, you're 50, you're 60. That's why he hasn't been shirtless since Bolt in the Head, you know, whatever that movie.
And so I wonder if he didn't want somebody that was like perfect looking because that would make him look worse, you know?
Yeah. Well, it has to be something to that effect. Was he cheap to hire to keep the budget down? So there's that too. But get an unknown. Get a Jonathan Majors. Of course, he would have too young, but that type of unknown, somebody who's just a beast of a guy who has charisma. Mm-hmm. Jonathan Majors. I hope he comes back to Hollywood. I'm sorry. He was so cool.
He was the best part of Creed 3.
Oh, he was amazing.
Yeah,
he was an amazing antagonist. He was a joy to watch in Creed 3. I hope he comes back because he's a great actor. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, we're seeing Antonio Tarver. Again, nice guy. Nothing against him. He can kick my butt. All those things are true. However, I'm watching a movie. That's all I'm saying. As a movie aesthetic, we need somebody with charisma and somebody who looks like they can really hurt you. You know? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So even the fighting that they're showing us is like tap, tap, tap. It doesn't look dangerous. Remember when Mr. T in part 3, he was like destroying his opponents in the ring.
Really good point, Ryan. This is just, it's like a sparring match. Yeah,
tap, almost. Tap, tap. Oh, but it's realistic. I don't care. Again, this is the problem with this film. I don't care about the realism. I want to freaking... Where people, here's the thing, when you're watching Drago and Rocky fight, where people crying, that doesn't look realistic. No, the reason why people love that film is because it's like it's crazy 80s boxing. Now we're realistic. Yeah, it's just so he's tap, tap, tap. And the crowd is booing because this is a horrible fight.
I guess you know what? We spoke too soon, Ryan, because later
that's why they're booing.
Because they're boring to watch. The crowd, and then his manager or somebody, they're like, nobody likes you, Mason Dixon. You're not a people's champion or whatever, right?
So I think you're right.
We spoke too soon.
but let me do a quick off the top of my head rewrite on that. That's fine. Have the crowd booing. Have Mason, the character, be like I said, a menacing figure of some sort with charisma, destroying his opponents because they're too easy. The kind of like the problem with the paper champion. You know, he hasn't fought a real fight. He's fighting bums, and he's gloating in his victories. And the crowd's like, "Dude, you're fighting bums. Make that the storyline." And then, when is he going to fight a real champion? That's the narrative. They even asked that question, so it could have been he's cocky about the victories. So I guess you can make the sequence still exciting, but he's fighting bums. Because that's the problem. It's boring to watch this guy lay out people that are useless. That should have been the storyline. Because they say, when's he going to fight somebody of caliber, of quality? But then they make the fights boring on top of it. That's the problem.
I'm also wondering, the realism, you're right. I think that was a big undercurrent with this movie, like trying to, even like the fight itself. And we know that Stallone pulls from real life events in his movies. And so at this time, boxing had lost its luster because of this kind of fighting, these big, doughy heavyweights that are boring to watch.
That's fair, yeah.
So I'm wondering if that's kind of part of it. But there's easily like a person in real life that each of the opponents in other movies are supposed to be. Like George Foreman, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson. I guess there was no Drago equivalent, but I'm curious if Mason the Lion Dixon was supposed to represent someone in real life. Or pulled from, like
Maybe
a real
just
boxer.
Yeah. Well, we know Tyson exists in the Rocky universe.
Yeah, that's right.
And so does George Foreman, but not Muhammad Ali. I don't think Ali mentioned now. I can't remember. I don't think. I think if he was, it's this movie. So he might.
It's in this. Yeah, it's in this movie that he's mentioned with the cartoon fights.
That's right. So Ali exists. So that's what we talked about. So did Apollo beat Ali for the belt? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll never know.
All right, here we go. There's something.
Yeah, I mean, there he goes. He lays him out.
I just don't like this style of fighter. I'm such a whore for nostalgia.
So they do say that. My bad. Like, it's been a while. Don't add us in the comments. So it says here, yet another quick knockout for Mason. So there you go.
Almost
that's what they're saying.
Perfunctory.
Oh, good word.
Almost perfunctory. The fans let them know how they feel about it.
Hide the women and children. This could get ugly.
This crowd does nothing to hide its anger over this latest debacle.
Fans are mad as hell. They don't want to take it anymore. They seem to be blaming Dixon, a good fighter, for the decline not only of the heavyweight division guys, but of the entire sport.
Okay, so there's the idea. So I guess it sort of, maybe I was speaking out of memory when I said, the problem here is Mason is a good fighter in the character, and he's laying out bums, and they're saying the fans are almost blaming him for being good. The same way we talked about with Tommy again. It's not Tommy's fault that Union Kane was a lame fighter. Don't blame Tommy that Union Kane is bad. Just give Tommy another opponent. So I guess the problem in this movie is the same kind of issues. I think that's what Sly was doing too. I think he brought some of the elements from the fifth film back into the sixth film to rectify.
Well, Union Kane, they alluded to, he wasn't feeling his best, like he was maybe injured or sick or something, and it was George Washington Duke that kind of made it. You know, it was really, the anger should have been named at Duke. But in this case, also, I hate the aesthetic of this time period. Those long ass shorts, and I can go back to the 80s with the shorts. I just don't like this.
Oh, Louise brings up a good point. Thanks, Louise. Maybe we should have Louise on the show and fire Kyle. Louise pulling up his big boy pants to fill in for Kyle. He says Tarver was a lightweight champ. 175. That is light. That's
it's not.
For a man?
I mean, not in boxing. Considering heavyweight is 200, that's only 25 pounds.
I guess so. I don't know anything. So he walked around at about 200 pounds. So Louise goes on to say he bulked up for the film to be about 230 for this role. And it was a dirty bulk just so he could gain the weight fast. So that's
it's just fat. he just got fat. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, he's not that bad, but yeah, interesting. So there you go. He put on mass, to kind of that girthy mass, but it didn't translate very well on film.
Though, because he looks lanky as is.
Right.
Imagine what is that, like 40, almost 50 pounds?
Yeah.
If he fought at 175.
Oh, one of our faithful listeners watching us on the YouTube stream, Simon, says Tarver doesn't look in great shape at the end, which they mentioned in the commentary. Another reason Rocky doesn't better. Sorry, I might have misunderstood the last part. Maybe just clarify the last part, Simon. So he's saying that it was mentioned. What does Sly say? Look at Tarver, he's a schlub. I wonder how that was brought up. Oh boy. Oh, he says that Rocky does better against him in the finale. Still don't understand what you mean by that. Interpretation, Katie?
Just the fact that Rocky, a 60-year-old, could even fight in the same ring with him, like Rocky does all right. So maybe Simon's saying that Tarver is intentionally maybe not the best looking fighter, because he is fighting a 59-year-old man. We did mention that before, I think, in our first
run through this film. You can't have Drago fighting Rocky. There has to be some sort of semblance of realism. You know, Tarver breaks his hand, blah blah blah. An older man will get winded. All that stuff. I get that. That's all the realism that Sly went for, and he succeeded. I guess there's a small part of me. We went from a street fight to fighting Drago to fighting Clubber. Like there was never a point in any of the films that there was a realism. It's just odd that the sixth film had this realism.
It was a sign of its time too. I think, you know, at the time, I think we were all just so jazzed to get another Rocky movie. But now it's been, oh my God, almost
I know it's
20
been
years since this.
It's been 19 years. It's been longer from this film's release than from 5 to part 6 by 3 years.
So now looking back, we're noticing things because we're no longer in 2006.
We're no longer got the rose-colored glasses.
Yeah.
The honeymoon's over, folks.
Mm-hmm.
The honeymoon is over. We can be more objective about this film.
And so we see he's got a big entourage, you know, this Tarver. He's got all these belts and entourage and money. And Louise does say that he thinks Mason Dixon is Floyd Mayweather at the time. Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
If Kyle was here, he'd be able to say yes or no. But, you know, Kyle bailed on us. He went on a bender last night. And
That's really interesting. I am slightly obsessed with Floyd Mayweather. He's a shitbag of a human, but my God, is he a good boxer? And he's attractive and he's cut. So, you know, get somebody who looks like Floyd. Just have Floyd. He's too little.
Actually, Louise, Google Floyd Mayweather's age in 2006. Imagine if they got him. I'd be curious if they could have gotten him for this role.
He's so small, though.
Slice 5'4".
True. Yeah.
What's wrong with Rocky being taller? You can have him. He fought, you know, Thunderlips and Drago, who are taller. It's okay if in fact, you could argue he is taller than his opponent, who's younger and stronger. So that's okay that Rocky has the height advantage.
Well, and he was bulkier. Ironically, this is the only film where Sylvester Stallone could have actually been a heavyweight. I think he probably actually weighs over 200 pounds in this movie, whereas in prior movies, he was more like a Floyd Mayweather, like 150, 160 pounds.
That's right. So Simon, thank you for the reminder. We'll get to that when we get to this in 20 episodes, when we get to the final fight. But that's right. The commentators do mention that Mason doesn't look like he's in great shape, which is a way, again, in a realistic way, addressing why Rocky was holding his own against a kind of out of shape opponent, where Rocky comes in very great shape for 59-year-olds. So that's the balancing act. Would Floyd be a better or worse actor?
Hey,
there's no way he'd be worse.
Charisma.
I doubt he'd be worse.
He's got charisma. He has charisma.
Hey, side note.
And we like to hate him too, because he's a shitty person.
There you go. Oh my goodness. What was his age? Somebody tell me his age in 2006, because boy, if we could retroactively cast him, he might be the perfect person for this film.
I'm guessing he would have been like maybe 30-ish.
Oh, that would have been amazing, Katie.
I'm just guessing.
Okay, because talk about charisma and not being liked. I enjoyed the Roadhouse movie with Jake Gyllenhaal. I actually had fun. Like, I didn't compare it to the Patrick Swayze. I just watched it as a film. You know why? Because Conor McGregor, he was so over the top and so ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's the charisma I'm talking about. So
I hated that movie. And Conor's a shitbag of a human being, but he was good.
Yes.
He was good.
Because he's the guy in that movie. He's walked with the swagger, the way he walks and antagonizes, and he's a badass.
That's what I mean. Him.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, Floyd Mayweather. He would have asked for way too much money, though, because he's super money hungry. But
okay. But let's just see. Floyd Mayweather. No one's doing it for me, so I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah, what year was he born? And then I can subtract.
He would have been, you're right, 29 years old.
Oh, look, I'm a good guesser.
Oh my gosh, now I'm really pissed off at this film even more.
Yeah, Floyd. But he would have asked, because he would
give
have
him
been
$5 million. $5 million for what? A 2-week shoot?
True. But he was a big deal at that time. I think that was maybe his heyday. And
I bet you the box office would have been more.
What? Oh, because he's a name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Oh man, I'm so mad at this right now. I don't know why. Give me a second to come down from this ledge. That's perfect casting. That is a perfect cast. Perfect age, perfect scenario. Now, if it was patterned after Floyd, maybe it's too close for comfort. But if you offered Floyd whatever money he would have asked for, if the studio said, okay, we'll make it back, because they would have made it back.
Yeah, I think you're right. Dang it. That would have been awesome.
Can you imagine Floyd and Sly in the ring?
Dude, I would have been salivating because I think Floyd is hot.
Sure. He's a good looking guy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what a missed opportunity. All right, let's keep going with Tarver. Sorry.
Action pelting the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world with ice.
Maybe this angry, visceral reaction will pressure Dixon to fight someone who can.
Even the way Tarver did that, looking around at the crowd, I can't believe they're throwing ice at me. Look, it was bad acting.
It looked bad. Running away. He's
like this is him doing. I know it's audio only. You can't see what I'm saying, but he's just like, I can't believe that. I think I did a better job right there trying to do a bad job. Of him looking around and like, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah, whoever plays his manager does a better job.
So interesting. Donald said that Mike Tyson wanted the role, but Sly said no, because that's too much. Meaning, Sly, ironically, see, this is a missed opportunity. Floyd is in a weird way less of a name, but a big name, where Tyson's too much of a character to be like, he'd be just Tyson in the ring, but Floyd could get away with being a different named character in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? But Tyson can't not be Tyson in the ring. Like he would be fighting Tyson in the ring. That would have been where you could make Floyd at the age of 29 be Mason the Line Dixon. Like you could have named him that.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, if Tommy was supposed to be kind of mirroring Tyson, you can't have him have another Tyson. Like we already did that. You know?
Exactly. And I agree with Simon completely. Simon, who's worked with films as well. And I agree that Floyd might have thought that the film wouldn't work because at the time, everyone, and I remember being nervous myself, everyone was saying that it would be an embarrassing and terrible film. And he probably wouldn't want his name because of his own pride. And that's who he is. I don't want to be attached to this project. So Tarver is cheaper and easier to hire. I agree. I'm not confused. Don't get me wrong, dear listener. I'm not confused why they hired Tarver. Cheaper, malleable. Sure, I'll be in a Sly film. Even the bombs, I got to work with Sly, got to be in a Rocky film. Mayweather has a higher pride value to himself. I get that. But I'm just fanboying here with, now that we know the film did well, I wonder if even Mayweather would have been like, oh, I wish they asked me. I would have done it for $3 million for a week's work. Because he could have done all of the scenes in a week or two. Then you're done. Shoot his scenes in a week. The one with his trainer, the one at the party, a couple fight moments, the final fight's 3-day shoot, and you're done. Here's $3 million for a week's worth of work. You didn't have to train for it.
I think they still would have had to pay more than $3 million. But either way, that's nothing. I mean, what was the budget of this movie?
A better podcast would have it up.
I have a feeling it was a significant budget. So
Do you think so? We'll make a guess. I'll tell you right now. What's your guess? I'm going to guess $50 million.
That's a good guess. I would say a little higher. I would say like 75 million.
We're both wrong.
Is it lower?
24 million.
Okay.
All
right.
Fight back for a change if there's somebody out there.
All of boxing is hoping for a warrior who thrills us with his passion.
A warrior who thrills us with his passion.
Gee, I wonder who that could be. And then the Take You Back plays. Oh,
Yeah,
see,
here
we're
we
getting
go.
all the nostalgia beats.
Frank Stallone's back, baby.
Take it back. Do, take it back. Yeah.
This is just like the first one now.
That's right. We're going back.
Just like the first one.
Well, I've been
This is reminiscent of the second opening.
But the first film, they did sing Take It Back. They did sing that at the street corner.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
So now we're going through the streets of Philadelphia at the time. We're going, what do you call it? The stock shots of Philly, whatever crew went around and filmed, Philly at the time. Looking as lovely as ever.
Looks pretty rough.
Yeah.
And now this looks nice, though. This looks like just a middle of the road area.
And now Rocky's alarm goes off at 5 a.m.
Oh my God, that was a gorgeous picture of Talia.
Yeah. And there we go with HGH Sly. His head's a little bit bigger than normal. Yeah. And this is the problem. The HGH does make the head go a little bit bigger. He looks better now in 70-something because he stopped doing it. But that's okay. So, yeah, we see the picture of Adrian. If you're watching this cold, you don't know. You just think, oh, it's a picture of his wife. You don't know she's passed yet. It hasn't been like the big reveal is when he goes to the grave. It's never talked about.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. This is the first time we see him, and we're like, oh, Rocky's an old man, not old man, but wow, this is a different Rocky. He's definitely aged. Like that's kind of a shock shot, but he does not look good. He looks better later. I'm kind of surprised that he chose to. Is it supposed to be shocking for us to be like, oof, what happened, Rock?
No, it's just time's undefeated, Katie. Time's undefeated. Louise also says that Floyd is way too small for the role. That could be true too. He's a 160 at the most.
Well, that's what's ironic is Rocky used to be, or Sly in the 80s was about 160, right?
I wonder what he could have looked like had he just Sly himself done the workout or done a health regime of working out and everything without making him big, so he looks a little bit slender but fit, and fought. There's a lot of good-looking 59-year-old men who have nice bodies who take care of themselves. It doesn't have to be huge.
Bulk,
he went for bulk. Again, if they hired Floyd, Sly with a proper whatever could have been like, yeah. Oh, now we're already asking questions. So Simon goes, does the director's cut use that close-up shot immediately? I'm sure in the original there's more shots of his back, silhouette, etc. before the reveal of Rocky. Okay, so Simon, great question. Great. Katie and I do not know the original so well. It's crazy to say. I know I've seen the theatrical cut of Rocky Balboa. It's not more than 10 times. It's not more than 10 times.
Oh, I guarantee you it's less than. I should watch it before our next recording just so that I'm more aware of what's new.
For the record, unless it's an obvious deleted scene moment, these shots that are different, I just don't. It's not for Simon. This is for all listeners going forward. That I don't have it in me or the knowledge to even say what Simon said there. So if I miss it, just know that you, the viewer or listener, you know it. Kudos to you. Thumbs up. But we're just going to react to the movie as it is. So we are doing review of the actual director's cut. So if we don't say this is a director's cut, part of the director's cut, so be it. We are watching the director's cut. Does that make sense? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But I think Simon's right. I do remember him coming out of the bed doing that kind of neck roll or whatever. That's right. So good call. Or maybe it's right here. Maybe he does. Oh yeah, this is new. Yeah, there it is there.
Oh, and I went wild for the turtles. Didn't you? The turtles are still alive.
There's still a cuff and link. Now, is that the original Turtles? People say it is. Sly says
No.
it. Yeah, but I don't think.
I don't buy it.
I don't buy it either. But again, it's the Turtles. The characters of the Turtles are back. Cuff and link.
They got an upgrade.
They did. Now, does he throw Skittles for bird food here? What does he do?
No, it's like nuts or something.
Okay.
Because he's got bird feeders right out the window. It looks like sunflower seeds or some sort of bird seed.
No, watch this. Watch this. That there. It looks like jubes or something. Seriously.
I don't know. I can't see what it is.
Every time I've seen that, it looks like he does the seeds, but it looks like he dumps like jubes or something.
I don't know what that was, but I remember also loving that because as an animal lover, and I feed the wildlife in my yard too, I'm like, oh, of course Rocky does that. It is just showing us, reminding us, we haven't seen Rocky in a while. And remember what a good person Rocky is?
Remember what he did when he walked by the pet store,
Mm-hmm.
He taps on the window. He loves animals. And so this is showing you that his love for animals and also nod to Adrian, who loves animals and worked in the pet shop. So he still has the Adrian connection of taking care of the animals. So his life is a zoo because Rocky likes going to the zoo. Why does Rocky like going to... Okay, I'll stop.
And this is interesting. We're seeing his house, which is different. It's not the Rocky V house. He lives in a different house. Mm-hmm. And it's just very normal, middle of the road. It clearly hasn't been updated. Rocky doesn't have a lot of money.
No, he's not modest.
Poor. He's not poor, but he, is not living in excess. He's cooking for himself.
What is that? Porridge or some sort or something? Or oatmeal?
I don't know. Maybe mac and cheese. Oh no, this is breakfast. It was probably oatmeal.
Yeah. Okay, so he's making.
I hate his hair.
Well, it's not real, so you don't have to worry about it. It's.
But his hair is the worst in this movie. I hate it.
The style, yeah.
Yeah, it's weirdly. I don't like it.
Yeah, well, it looks like it's a wig. I'm not even trying to be like, it's not real. This is not the hair that's coming from his head. Is if you took a strand of that hair, do you think his DNA would come up?
I don't know, but I thought that's kind of what this hair systems. I thought can't they take some of your own hair and like, I don't know how it works actually.
It's such an odd thing to me. This is my hair. I'm 50 this year.
Well, it's easy for you to say though, Ryan, because you have hair and a lot of men get a receding hairline. I mean, it's easy for you to say that. Yeah.
The little there. But you know what's funny is like once I go bald, if that ever happens, especially when you age, like the hair gets thin.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna
lose your hair.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
just you not to the skin, just get the raised, just like the Picard look. Just the Picard look. So whatever hair you have is there, but you just constantly just keep it short. Every week, number 1 it, number 2 it, or whatever it is. Anyways, the whole pretend of it's just look, I'm a guy. I love the vanity men have about their hair. I think it's hilarious. Yeah, that's speaking of somebody with hair. You know, it's fine. I don't have money. I have hair. I'll take it.
Good point. Good point. That's what Sly has money, but not hair. Yeah.
I got the hair. So anyways, this is my hair privilege speaking. Oh man. What do you call it? Full hair privilege?
It is. It's a thing. Women, we like hair.
All good. Well, my wife will stick around with me for now. Anyways. And my brothers hate me. All my brothers. Ruben, you guys remember Ruben, my original co-host? My brother? Yeah, he doesn't have hair. So now he just did like a mushy oatmeal. And this is where call back to the first film. Here's the first callback, folks, other than the Frank Stallone singing. He's like, should I have something else for breakfast? I think this is the scene here. Do I just want my sloppy porridge oatmeal? Oh, there's the eggs.
And he's putting it in a glass.
Now, everyone's thinking.
I don't even remember. Does he just drink the eggs?
This is the thing. This is like the character. This is where, yes, the character is doing this in this world, but this is for the fans of the movie. So this is a combination of, is the character really doing this 30 years later? Or is this his morning routine? So this is what I mean. So Sly, the actor, is actually swallowing eggs. But why is the character doing this 30 years later? That's the question, because watch what happens. Watch the response to this. He spits it out in the sink.
I totally forgot about that.
Which is like, again, so why did the character do that? Did he think to himself,
on this one day...
I trained for Apollo 30 years ago, and I swallowed eggs and went for that run with my what were those shoes called again?
Converse.
Yeah, and my sweaty sweats, my dirty sweats. So that's the question. Why did he do this, Katie? He didn't like the experience, so he hasn't done this in 30 years. Why did he do it today?
Yeah, it's one day, because clearly if he did it yesterday, he wouldn't do it today.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, of this response. I thought what he was going to do is put them in the glass, and that would have been our thing to be like, ooh, but then he pours it in a pan and cooks them.
Yes, that's what he should have done. Sly, I love you, but that was fan service to a frickin' T to show, because now he's reacting like we all would have reacted when we first saw it, like, why did you swallow those eggs? So now we're saying, yeah, that's the real response. You're going to spit out the egg. It's gross.
He already knows that they're gross. Like he's,
again. So it should the fun gag. The fun gag would have been. You're right. He puts it in the glass, does it like this, shakes it around, like and then you see him
scrambling,
fine and eating it with his breakfast, and everyone's like, okay, that makes more sense.
It does make more sense.
All right, so Simon goes on to say, you know what, Simon, you're not harping. If you're here with us live, Simon, we'll take your notes. I'm saying I'm not researching it. I'm done. I can't stick no more of this director's cut nonsense. So Simon says, sorry to keep harping, but you're not, about the different edits. The eggs isn't in the director's cut. It's better used in the original part. Sorry, the eggs isn't in the director's cut, but that's what we're watching. It's better used in the original as part of the training montage, getting back in shape.
I think maybe what he's saying is this is in the director's cut, not in the original. In the original, it comes later when he starts training. Is that what you're saying, Simon?
I think so, because we are watching that. I'm 90% knock on wood. Gino gave me the director's cut because there is a scene. Well, I'll say it because I know there's a deleted scene where he talks to Andy from the bar. That's not in the original cut, so I know this is the director's cut. Yeah, but I think you're right. I think you're saying this gag was played during the training. Okay, that's coming back to me now. Okay, all right.
You just wasted a bunch of eggs.
But why is he? It's so funny. He's angry there. Why did he get angry? He's just like, oh man, I can't do it.
He's huge.
Yeah, he's big.
Look at him here. He's huge. Like his head is big, but he's so bulky. It's such a different Rocky.
Look at the hair there. Does that look natural? The hair right there. I'm sorry. Does that look natural? No. It's either the coloring or the shape or the fluffiness of it, but there's something unnatural to his hair. Right there. Objectively, it looks like a wig. And I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just saying objectively, it looks like a wig. It looks like hair treatment right there.
I don't like the shape of it. It's just like it doesn't suit him.
Okay, so Simon, this is Katie's correct. Eggs aren't in the opening of the original. Okay, there you go. Better used in the training montage. He goes, I can't type or sing and dance, yo. You're doing great, Simon. You're doing great. You're doing great. Okay.
We haven't seen it yet, but we're just seeing him by himself. He's making breakfast by himself, and there's a Polly mug there. But, where is Adrian?
Well, where's Polly?
Mm-hmm.
Why is he making breakfast for Polly?
No, it's just a mug. He's just using Polly's mug, right?
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, it's going to be interesting because I believe there's a deleted scene where Polly talks about his girlfriend. He got kicked out or something. So maybe that's the scene. Oh, that could be the scene that's not in this cut because it doesn't make sense because he talks about getting kicked out of his girlfriend's house or something like that.
And that's why he's staying with Rocky.
Yeah. So maybe that's not in the director's cut. Is that scene? Shows off the TV, and there is Polly. This is Kyle this morning. What we're seeing right now is Kyle. This is Kyle this morning after his bender.
He's got his painting there. That's a Polly painting.
That's a Burt Young painting. Yeah.
Yeah.
His real paintings are in this film. The Polly character paints, but Burt Young paints, and that's his paintings in this film.
Oh, there's 3 of them here. I like the zebra one.
There's probably old Polly.
Yeah.
Old Burt Young. Yeah. Rest in peace to Burt, of course. But not to the Polly character. He's alive and well in this film. A little bit hungover. He's got his crack pipe there. Or his ashtray. What was that? Ashtray?
Oh, I thought maybe it was his glasses because it was with a paper.
Rocky's looking at some pictures, and Rocky living in the past, which is true. He is hyper focused on the past. Of course, we're going to get to that in later episodes, but I wanted to say it really quickly before we close today. It's interesting, even the character in Creed, which we'll not be covering again, but he goes, "Oh, my stuff is there in the past behind me." That's kind of the problem with the Rocky character. He has a really hard ability to live in the present.
Mm-hmm.
Just enjoy
especially
the moment.
without Adrian. I mean, I think that's the key is that if Adrian were here, he would be living in the present with her. No?
Yeah, no, I agree that the Adrian, of course, lost, but that's the whole problem. But think of all the years. But yeah, you got a freaking grandkid and the son. This is what I'm like. Look, I love my wife. Don't get me wrong. But if and when not when I'm old, I shouldn't die after. Yeah, I should die.
You should die
her.
first. You should.
Yeah, because I am older, and men do die sooner. So the point I'm trying to say is, I hope, live your life, Becky. Don't stop living because that's ridiculous. Then that's 2 deaths.
Yeah.
Like you still have your life. Yes, you'll miss me, and I'll miss you too in the other world. But live your life because you have grandkids and you have siblings probably still. It's like don't stop. The Rocky stops living.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a weird concept to me to be in this fog of just you got your brother-in-law, you have a son and a grandkid to be. That's what gets frustrating. Is that's your life. Focus on your young son. You're losing him. You're losing your family.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's like what happened. They made up in 5. We'll get to it. But also this is showing us it's really sweet. We're seeing Rocky being kind of a caregiver to
I'm being too harsh already.
Polly.
I apologize. That's not my intent.
We'll get to it. But yeah, I mean, again, like putting ourselves in the shoes of if we're seeing this in 2006, we're like, okay, sweet. This all tracks. We're kind of the familiar beats. And now we're saying, okay, well, Polly's still here. Polly still lives
Polly's
with Rocky.
still drunk. Polly's still drunk. They're still together. We haven't seen Adrian yet. I guess there's a part of me is where it's, I guess we literally have gone back He's kind of Simon brings up a good question. Do you think the film is also too stuck in the past? I love it, but it's very emotionally dependent on the callback slumber plot of the original. Sly and Rocky are mirrored as usual. Yeah, it's good and bad. And this is why a lot of people love this film. So this is the criticism I have of this film.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel like a new chapter. It feels like a closing and or reimagining of if I were to make a Rocky film today and no other films exist in the Rocky franchise, here's the Rocky film. But we have it already 30 years previous. This is just the Rocky 1. We meet Adrian. Rocky 2, she's dead. Or sorry, Rocky Balboa, she's dead. So you're right. All those familiar beats. We have Paulie. We have this. We have the Take You Back. We have all these things. And, he's a lovable guy. And he's in the neighborhood. And he's Little Marie. And it's all there. It's pleasant, but it's not. It doesn't feel vibrant and new. And I think we could have had something even more special. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think the criticism about it plays strongly, perhaps too heavily on nostalgia, but I think
that's why people love it, though. That's why people
it
love
is. It is. I'm trying to be. I think we're just getting the opening, so we're setting the stage. It's been 16 years since we've had a Rocky movie. We kind of need this. We need to be like, okay, yes, this is comfortable. Now I'm more open-minded because there was criticism when this movie came out. And so now we're like, okay, this feels good. This feels good before we kind of get into, okay, what's the plot of the movie actually about?
Yeah. There's not one Rocky film that I don't like. And there's not one Rocky film I wouldn't watch again. But I am going to be a little bit objective on this because I think just fanboying over this film, from my perspective, go listen to other podcasts to do that. But I think it's okay to say, hey, we could have because we did it for Rocky 5 coverage. Like, we talked about what could have made it better, and then we'll talk about the things that work. So the things that are working right now, just for argument's sake, is right now we have, it feels comfortable. It feels like an old pair of shoes. It fits. Everything fits. So whatever jarring experience you have with the other films, we're kind of back. Everything feels good. I like it here, and this is why Kyle would like this film, I bet, because everything's kind of back now. We're back in the neighborhood. The storyline's strong. The acting's strong. The original soundtrack's all here. So everything fits like a glove.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. All right. Louise, he says that hair is atrocious. He looks like Frankenstein's monster. Oh, yeah. Phil Hartman.
The way that it's like.
Yeah, the Phil Hartman Frankenstein. That's hilarious. Okay. So we'll end it soon here. Whatever the natural scene is. So again, Paulie's still passed out. Rocky's pick up his laundry. So you can see that he's taking care of his brother-in-law. He goes outside.
His hat back on,
He's got the old uniform on. He's drinking some coffee. He's still got the boxing moves, Gets up at his chin-up bar just to show everyone, even though he's going to train for a fight soon, he still has the ability to do workouts. Like, it's showing you that
in his normal everyday life, this is a man nearing 60 that's still, And
here's the big reveal. Here's the big reveal. Yeah, we'll stop it here so Kyle can comment. But now we're doing the whole memory. The next sequence or next episode will be the memory lane, but we'll stop it there.
Do you remember what your reaction was the first time?
Well, I knew she was dead before I saw it.
I don't know if I did. I can't remember.
Spoiler alert for anyone. Yeah, I knew she had passed on as a character, that she wasn't in the film. So they get to it right away. Like, we're only 5 minutes into the film. Right away, yeah, Adrian. Like, if you haven't figured it out already, it's pretty clear now. Yeah. All right. So Simon closes. It's the nostalgia, like when I listen to your podcast, Kyle missing is like dead Adrian. Yeah, I know. Kyle's not dead. He's hungover. All right. Okay. So yeah, that's it. That's episode 1 of our Rocky Balboa, the director's cut journey. It's going to be fun. Here's your over under, Katie. Is it going to be 20 episodes or less?
Well, I think it's going to be 20 episodes on the dot.
Wow, I don't think so. I think it'll be less.
You do? Only because the pace that we're at right now.
Well, today was, you and I are chatterboxes. I think the reason why I go faster with Kyle sometimes too is because he gets irritated when I talk too much. I can see in us. Like, you ever get the sense when you get to move it along?
Yeah.
Move it along. You and I are happy to kind of like sit in the trenches a little bit, but he's like, I see him doing this. He does this. He does this.
He's trying not to be disrespectful, but
Yeah,
well, that's
they
funny.
move it along, which is fine. We have to move it along. Kyle, hope you feel better. Happy Father's Day, and we'll see him on the next recording, I'm sure. Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us. However, Katie, this episode is over.
I didn't hear no bell.
I just want to say